3D printing is a rapidly evolving technology that has become more affordable and accessible to the general public in recent years. It seems like an incredibly futuristic feat, but it's actually been around since Lincoln was elected. In 1859, Frenchman François Villem began creating photo sculptures in Paris with techniques that could be considered a primitive version of 3D printing. Villem put his subjects on a circular platform with 24 cameras surrounding them, a camera every 15 degrees. Simultaneously taking a picture with each would create a 3D profile of the subject. After collecting this data with his scanning technology, Villem then projected each image onto a screen. He then used a pantograph attached to a blade to trace each profile while simultaneously carving each one into wood. The technology for what we know as 3D printing, or additive manufacturing, has existed in some form since the 1980s. The technology has not been capable enough or cost-effective enough for most high-end products or high-volume commercial manufacturing.
3D printing is still science fiction to a lot of people. The idea that you can have a machine and send it a digital design, a 3D model that's virtual, and it'll turn into something real, a physical model, it blows people's minds.
But this all might be about to change. In recent years, the technology has become less expensive and more accurate. For instance, some models of printers are now available for under $1,500 and are about the size of a microwave. This has allowed smaller businesses, entrepreneurs, and the average consumer to enter the field. We are now printing machinery for aircrafts and cars, as well as jewelry, art, toys, medicine, body parts, organs, food, and even weapons. When anyone with a printer can print anything, who's to stop them from printing anything? Cody Wilson, a law student in Austin, Texas, is leading a group working to create the Wiki weapon.
We want to build the printable gun.
The first in the world.
Yeah, but the important part isn't to be the first, but to actually do it, to just have one.
This project would put a weapon at every computer. The availability of deadly weapons aside, the success of the 3D printing industry calls another long-debated issue into question: copyright. The music industry is still fighting a war on copyright issues due to computers. The 3D printing industry can bring this war to the rest of the world. If you can build it, you can print it.
Back in 2008, you could download movies, you could download books, you could download music, but you couldn't download things.
Many popular 3D models have been made open source or free in response, including the plans for a 3D printer, the RepRap project. In 2005, Dr. Adrian Bauer's RepRap project launched an open source initiative to create a 3D printer that could basically build itself, or at least print most of its own parts. The RepRap project does require a 3D printer to make the majority of the pieces, but also requires rods, glass, and various electronics. There are 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. There are 2 rods representing the X and Y axes. The extruder, the part that takes the printing material past the heater and out the nozzle, moves up and down on the Z axis on a large pull screw with a stepper motor attached. The rods also have stepper motors attached to the extruder with belts. Speed is especially a challenge when printing larger objects. Large objects require more material to be pushed through the printer nozzle, which generally has a set rate for processing material. There are various other models of printers, all of which operate under the same principles, but not always the same methods. The pursuit of multi-material capability will favor certain printing methods over others. However a model of printer gets the job done, it's the printed object that counts. The development of the technology will change business models, inventory operations, copyright law, and even military logistics. 3D printing is an ever-expanding field, and this video could go on for quite a while. We have covered where this great technology has come from, where we are now, and where we are going.